New Thought Media Network proudly presents Having Courageous Conversations, where real talk dives deep. Each week we go beyond surface talk. We open our hearts, speak our truths, and dive into the stories that shape us. No scripts, no filters, just powerful, unforgettable conversations about life, purpose, healing, and truth. Join the conversation, because your voice belongs here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel at Having Courageous Conversations or email us at yourshowyourvoice@gmail.com. Now, let's have a courageous conversation.
The views and opinions of our guest and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of New Thought Media Network, or any organization we may be affiliated with. Here at New Thought Media Network, we welcome freedom of speech and courageous conversations. There are many topics that can be difficult to navigate. Challenging the status quo and engaging in lively debate is important to expanding our understanding of one another, and life in general. Creating a peaceful world doesn't happen because no one disagrees, it happens from a willingness to understanding one another. In our programming, we strive to expand consciousness and assist people in creating remarkable lives. Your comments are welcome at info@ntmedia.org.
Hello and welcome. We're so happy to be joining you wherever you are, whether we're in your homes or we're in the car with you on your cell phone, or whether you're watching this later. Thank you for making the time for us to be with you. This is Having Courageous Conversations, which is a heartfelt, spirit-led online series where we explore the transformative and honest dialogues that we can bring to you about difficult conversations. Because we believe that when we speak from the heart and we listen with compassion and hold a space for one another, we create possibilities for healing, for growth, and for real connection. My name is Cheryl Rogers, and my beautiful co-host here is Mark Dupuis. And together we're honored to be guided through these powerful conversations with you by our wonderful guest, who Mark is going to introduce you to.
Thank you, Cheryl. And I'm so grateful that Carrie said yes to joining us today. So Carrie's going to appear on screen. There she is. Carrie is originally from a small farming community near Sudbury, Ontario. She lived in Toronto for 18 years and is now in Ottawa for 21 years. Carrie was a childhood educator for 20 years, worked at Walmart, and is currently working as a membership and community liaison coordinator at the Canadian Hard of Hearing Association. Carrie brings extensive life experience, including living with hearing loss since birth, overcoming childhood trauma, and having 35 years of addiction recovery. Her resilience, determination, and strong faith play a crucial role in her personal spiritual journey. Welcome, Carrie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I see that you told us that you had hearing loss since birth. I don't know how to imagine that, Carrie, and maybe can you tell us about that for so that we understand a bit more? And please let me know if I need to speak up.
No, you're doing good. I was born with hearing loss in both ears. One was profound, the other one was moderate at that time. But there was no hearing test for babies way back then as there are now. It wasn't until I was the age of 5 by the time my mother convinced everybody that yes, I do have hearing loss. She even took me to the family doctor. So I'll grow it. I didn't. So the story is my father took 2 pens, banged them behind my head, and I didn't turn around. So I don't know. I didn't know any different at that age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those years when you know, up until the age of 5? Like, what was that like for you?
Well, I do remember. So I lived up north. We had to come all the way to Toronto to see a specialist, and that's like maybe an 8-10 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And we went every summer. But I do remember the first year I got my hearing aid, and I remember we were staying at my aunt's in Toronto, and we were outside playing. And I remember stopping, and I think I was recognizing I was hearing things, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure nobody took the time to tell me what
Mm-hmm.
it is I'm hearing. And but I do remember thinking, oh, okay. And I learned to lip read, I'm guessing, at a very young age as well. So if I could say lip reading is my second language, I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That that's awesome. I bet did you have fun lip reading? Could you use it to your advantage at some time?
Yes. Apparently I did as a kid.
Yeah.
I was in my high chair one time, and I guess I was ignoring her. So she asked me, oh, I turned my hearing aid off. That's what it was, because I had a body hearing aid then. So
Mm-hmm.
you could just turn it off. So she asked me if I wanted ice cream, and I didn't answer. So then she knew. So yes, I did use it to my advantage sometimes. Didn't always work out though.
Mm.
Yeah. Did you find that after being silent for 5 years that it was disconcerting? It was noisy. Like, did you want to more be more have more quiet, or did you appreciate what you were hearing?
I honestly can't answer that. I can answer it from a cochlear implant perspective. We'll get
I
there.
can't hear
But
you. Is
yeah,
that me?
well,
I can hear Carrie, no problem.
It's me. It's okay. It's
Okay.
me.
okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I did not receive much help growing up in school. Like today, I would have an assistant with me
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
somebody helping me. I had nobody, and I was probably the first person all my teachers ever had with a hearing loss, because I did not
Mhm.
grow up with any other kids from kindergarten, even to college, I can say, with
Mhm.
nobody else having hearing loss.
Wow. So you really had to learn everything by yourself
Mhm.
about.
Oh, we lost you. You're on mute there, Cheryl, but that'll give me a chance to say something. So, Carrie, was that difficult for you? And was that part of your childhood trauma that you weren't able to hear?
Yes. So on the hearing loss side, I didn't make friends because I didn't have anybody to teach me how to be social. So, and I do have an older sister, but she's 5 years older. So I didn't have her to play with at home either. Um, but I did enjoy school, but most of the time it was solitary.
Mhm.
Mm.
And yes, my childhood trauma definitely has a hand in it because I was hard of hearing.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, statistics for any child who is disabled growing up, the chances of having sexual abuse, unfortunately, is higher.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
mainly because I was so quiet.
Mhm.
And I honestly didn't have information in my head what was right and what was wrong.
Mhm.
Although I think I knew something wasn't right. I did
Mhm.
know that at some level.
Mhm. Yeah. So you're really taken advantage of in so many ways because of your lack of hearing, because of your experience.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people didn't understand me because my speech, I was late in speaking. And of course, I can't hear sound. So I'm trying to make them as best as I could. I remember, I think I was in grade 6 or grade 5 when we had a substitute teacher. And I guess she said to my teacher, "How can you understand her?" And it just took a while.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you learn to speak so eloquently?
That's because I now have 2 cochlear implants
Uh-huh.
and I can hear sound. So I had auditory training with my left ear. I've had this one for about 21 years.
Okay.
And yeah, and my new one is since February. That's still my baby ear. But with my other ear, I had about a 3-month study with the Ottawa Civic Hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
it was to provide oral rehab.
Okay.
Because all all the sounds that we make consist of 6 pairs, and with this implant, I could understand all those sounds.
Wow.
So we worked on speech, and yeah, my speech improved quite well.
Yeah, it's excellent.
And I've even heard it gone a little better with my new one.
Wow, that's fabulous.
Oh, it's amazing. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to do this right now because there's no captioning.
yeah,
And
Oh, okay.
and you guys are small, but I can still lip read and understand what you're saying. So that's
okay.
kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. So, up until then, what was your experience? I mean, I know we're going back to, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the challenges that you faced growing up, and how did you navigate them? How did you um, create some safe space for yourself to be able to live in this world with that challenge?
I did a lot of arts and crafts. And actually, I can say this, my TV would probably be my best friend at home. I spent a lot of time watching TV. We had those big box TVs. Remember the floor ones? um, I did a lot of arts and crafts. I did a lot of reading. I loved playing with Lego. I was not a Barbie doll girl.
Mm-hmm.
Not my sister had some, but Lego and what's it called, Meccano?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, I love those. I love building with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, I tuned out most of my childhood, and I think so. Watching TV would probably be my best safest spot.
Okay.
Mm.
How have you
You
done?
you said arts and crafts. I see. I'm sorry, Cheryl, I
No,
cut you
that's
off.
okay. Go ahead.
There's pictures behind you. Is that part of your arts and crafts?
Yes,
Are you an artist?
it's a paint by number,
Okay.
Beautiful.
but you need a lot of patience.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks so intricate.
Yeah, especially the one with the moon in it. There's
Yeah.
a lot more in it. And I have another one that you see off the side. I also do diamond dot painting, which is kind of like these, but
I love those.
big, like the pictures behind.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Are those
I,
magnets?
I always problem solve without meaning to when I'm doing craft. If I'm upset about something, I go, okay, I got to go do something. And it will be solved somehow because my brain is off focus.
Well, it
So
makes
it's kind of cool.
sense. That makes sense, right? Because you had to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. So
So,
yeah. Well, the other question I have, and forgive me, Carrie, because it's really hard. It's hard for somebody who hasn't experienced that to understand. It's hard for me to even imagine. And so I come back to, like, how did you know when you were reading what things meant.
Okay, can you say, I'm not sure what you're asking.
When you were reading books, you said you read a lot of books, and so how did you know what they meant, what they were talking about? Is that from eyesight that you interpreted the world? Okay.
What, you mean on TV?
Reading books. Yeah.
Reading books. I read all kinds of books. I was actually reading adult books, probably earlier than most other kids. But I read about anything.
Yeah.
Most stories about when I was a kid, kid-related topics and stuff like that.
Okay.
So when I was in school, I would devour the library for any book to do my assignments and stuff on, because I did not do well on exams or tests, because that was hearing related. Assignments and everything else. When I was in college or placement with kids, I did awesome on all those.
Right.
And some of my exams, not so well.
That makes sense. Yeah. So that's lovely. Thank you.
Who was your biggest support, or did you feel supported as a child or even as a young adult?
I did have an aunt who supported me, but she was also an alcoholic and a pill addict. So I didn't disclose anything with her. I didn't know anything about my abuse until I started recovery. And I started recovery, I think, when I was around 25. It took about 4 years. My therapist could read between the lines. And then things slowly kept coming out. So then I had professional support. I did not have much family support. And in fact, because of the abuse and stuff, I chose to not have contact with my mother. And she died maybe about 5 years ago. So it would be like 32 years, 5 years ago, it was my decision to not have contact with her, because I was almost like her significant other. I couldn't, she would call me constantly. And I would go home to visit her in Espanola. So I would go to college in Toronto. So I would go home on the holidays. And when I was on my way back to Toronto, I would always have a migraine. And when I started doing some addictions, I may be clean or sober when I go see my mother, but when I come back, I would have a relapse. So I needed that physical space, and I asked her to respect that, and she never did. And I explained to her why, because I know she knew about some of the abuse. So somehow she felt powerless, I think, to stop. And she didn't have an easy life either. My father was not a nice man when he was drinking. But now, so for I don't know how many years, 20 years, I probably saw a therapist every other week. And then I had counseling with my hearing loss. So I had somebody for almost once a week for a long time. Right now, I do have my therapist, but I go when I need to see her. Because now I have lots of friends, and you guys, and church, unity.
Yeah.
Awesome, Carrie. And you said you've been in recovery for how long?
I think 30.
That's just amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been clean 2015. So 2015, what's 2015 from now? How many years is that?
Are you testing us now? 30 years.
But that's how long I've been.
30 years, yeah.
And actually, it wasn't drugs that I was into so much.
Oh,
It was
2015. 2015. No, that's 10 years, isn't it?
that's
10
what
years.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
It's
10
been-
years. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm thinking 2005. It's 10 years. 10
Yeah.
years. Yeah,
So I have 10 years behind me, but it feels a lot more than that.
yeah, yeah. But
But-
that's incredible.
Most of my addictions were my first addiction with food. And I did do some drugs, mainly things like gravel, because I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to escape my feelings. Because once I started recovery, everything came out. It didn't come out slowly. It just went boom.
Wow.
So I actually overdosed, I think, 2 days after I saw a therapist for the first time. Because all my life, I had always had a smile. So that was my mask. So if I smiled, nobody knew that there was anything wrong. And I didn't want any attention either.
Mm.
So at work, I went from being like this and stop her going, is she okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, sort of. But yeah. I used to be on a lot of medication, which I'm on very little right now, just enough to what? I don't want to say to function, just enough to keep me stable. Maybe that's the right word to say that.
Yeah. That's yeah. Quite a story that you're sharing with us. It's something that in some ways I can relate to, and in other ways I can just only imagine. So you mentioned work. What
Yeah.
were you doing at that time, work-wise?
Joy?
Where were you working at that time when you were going through this addiction period?
At that time, actually, I wouldn't be working
Okay.
because, give me a second now. No, my work addiction, I took a leave of absence from daycare work here in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything escalated.
Mm-hmm.
I had to move because I was using my select line to pay my select line. I was using my select line to pay my rent, food, my car. Yeah, so I had a lot of things going on. I ended up declaring bankruptcy because I just could not go back to work. And I didn't have the resources then or somebody to help fight me so that I could stay on long-term disability.
Right.
Because work denied me. But that's in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did a lot of work on myself on those 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a particular moment that brought you through the doors of recovery? And I don't mean just the physical doors. I mean, what was the shift for you?
I knew something was wrong because nothing was working right. And I knew, I felt like I was going to implode, not explode, but implode. So I went to my family doctor and she authorized some time off. And I saw a psychiatrist. But funny thing, I only saw him once because he reminded me so much like my father. And my father was one of my abusers. He couldn't get a word out of me. And I didn't know why I didn't want to talk to him at that time. But he had his hair slicked back. My dad used burl cream or whatever. You remember that?
Yeah.
So, and the psychiatrist had that too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the last time I had a male therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my intuition that was telling me something was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I knew I wasn't functioning as well as I normally, in my mind, should be at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you have any of like a belief system growing up? Any kind of spiritual beliefs, or did you believe in something out there who was helping you or not helping you? Or
Well, some of you know this. When I was 5 years old, I was in kindergarten, and I decided to go to the washroom. 1 second here. And I guess while I was in there, the teacher said it was recess time. So everybody tidied up and out they went. So by the time I came out, there was nobody in the room, nobody in the cloakroom, and I could see them outside. And I thought, all right, God doesn't love me anymore. Nobody, I'm on my own.
Mhm.
I do remember that right to this day. It's amazing. I don't believe it anymore, though, by the way.
Mhm.
But once I started coming back to Unity about a year and a half ago, it dawned on me, oh, wait a minute. God didn't leave me. He was always with me.
Mhm.
So I think to answer your question, Cheryl, somewhere inside of me, I knew there was hope.
Mhm.
Because if I didn't have that hope, I wouldn't be here today.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And once I realized this, it seems like, I don't want to say that nothing happened in my past. It just cleared everything up. I don't have, it happened. I still get triggered now and then,
Yeah.
but it's nowhere like it was in the past. And I have tools today how to deal with them. So I
Mhm.
have confidence in that. And I believe God is helping me, God is guiding me too.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and it's beautiful to witness just how much you've healed within yourself, right? Because that's what forgiveness and healing is. It's not about anybody else except ourselves.
Yeah.
Because really, what we are feeling and thinking and going through is certainly not impacting the other person. They don't even know that that's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to you for doing all that work and for coming to a
Mhm.
place where, I can hear that you've accepted that that is your past and this is now, and you seem to be a very joyful human being experiencing your life right now.
Mhm.
I used to have nothing on my plate.
Mhm.
Nothing. So now I work. So I didn't work for a long time. So I did. Okay, so let me tell you my Walmart story. So I've been looking for work since the beginning of the pandemic, or
Mhm.
just before the pandemic. And then I went, how am I going to get work now? Because everybody would be wearing a mask, and I wouldn't
Mhm.
be able to live with them.
Yeah.
So again, this was God telling me, go to Walmart. So I dressed up really nice, and I go to Walmart for my interview, and they sent me the wrong information, and he goes, because I thought I was going for administrative position, and he goes, that shouldn't even be on the website. And he goes,
Mhm.
this is for the stock room, and I go, and I'm all dressed, and yeah, no. But the more we talked, he actually took his mask off. He was very accommodating. I was surprised. And he gave me the job pretty much there. I ended up working in, I forget the name of it, but toys was the big one for me. So I eventually was looking after toys, which I love.
Oh, that's
Um,
fabulous.
but they were very accommodating. And I had, at that time, I had my phone around my neck, and there was an app called Otter, and that's what I used for the customers and my associates.
Beautiful. And I can't
So,
believe that it's time to take a break, Carrie. Like, can you believe
okay.
that?
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back. So
Okay.
don't go away. This is just, thank you for sharing your story with us. Really, I'm just so grateful. I can see Mark is shaking her head as well. We really appreciate it. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay.
The otters.
Well, hello there. This is Dr. Sydney Steen. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader of the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We are a oneness center for spiritual living. And I just want to invite you to something that I think is really, really special. In October, from the 6th to the 10th, at Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, the affiliated New Thought Network will be hosting the most wonderful retreat. This will serve your soul. It will lift your heart. And oh my goodness, I want to call it an advance. So come hear wonderful speakers like Martha Creek, Sonny Cantrell, and the music will be off the hook with Ricky Byers. There will be so much there to support your soul. I hope that you will join us. You can go to antn.org. That's antn.org. You can get all the information. You can sign up. You can use a credit card, and it is safe and secure, and I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
Well, welcome back. Yeah, my goodness. So I want to also invite anybody who is watching, who's here and is able to send any messages through chat or anything. If they have any questions for Carrie, to please type them in the chat. And I'm sure she would be, I know she would be willing to answer them with much love. And courage, because I think your journey is courageous.
Yes.
That's what this show is about. And honestly, when I hear what you've been through, you're probably one of the most courageous guests we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cheryl asked me if there was something she was supposed to say. She asked me in a text, and as we were, this will have a segue. As we were exiting, I said we'll come back with an otter story.
oh yeah. My app. It used to be. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just being, a smart ass here, but it's a segue though to ask you about adaptions and is there anything you want to say to the audience about adaptions, that accommodations, like what do we need to be aware of? When you don't know what you don't know. So
Are you talking about hearing loss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just have to tell you a little story before I answer that.
Absolutely.
It's only been just after the pandemic again, so this is going back 3.5 years. Up until then, I always thought of myself as a hearing person. Even though I knew I had hearing loss, I chose not to identify with it. But that caused a lot of problems for me because I would go try something new and then end up dropping out because I couldn't understand. I would keep forgetting that I wouldn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And just as the pandemic was ending, I went to a fitness class to do line dancing. And I thought, oh, that's going to be so much fun. I just have to watch. And it's a lot more to than just watching. It's also listening.
Mm-hmm.
And the instructor, of course, it Habakkuk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I could follow, but I would miss if she said turn left, turn right, go back. So within 15 minutes of that class, I thought I was going to start crying. Long story short, I was seeing my counselor of Canadian Hearing Services at that time, and I just mumbled out, I said, I think I'm trying to live as a hearing person. And I've been with this counselor for like 20 years. And she goes, finally. I'm just looking at her, what? Oh. But I think my experience at Walmart boosted my confidence that, yes, I can work with a hearing loss outside of daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some mourning. I had some anger and, some accepting to do. Now I have no trust on myself. I don't say you should be able to do that. I don't do any of that anymore. So I had a lot of change because when I was growing up, having a hearing loss was very different, not normal. When I would hear stories about people being deaf and dumb.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe in any of that anymore. So I would encourage you, kind of no matter how old you are, to get a baseline hearing test. Because 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you may notice some hearing has gone down. So if you have 2 audiograms, they have something to compare with.
Mm-hmm.
And through work, I am advocating for people with hearing loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so we teach them what to expect when you go to an audiologist. You go into a booth, you listen, you push the button when you hear a sound, repeat sentences. And some also save your money. Hearing aids are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it can be anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 for one hearing aid. So if you need 2, you're looking at, 10,000 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's where I work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My picture's in there too. If you don't believe I work there, you can go to staff and you see my picture there. Anyway.
Yeah, wonderful that you work there.
Is there a subsidy?
Yes, there is. Thank you for bringing that up. You need to have your doctor fill it out, and it's called ADP, which is called for Assistive Devices Program. But after you have to have a certain level of hearing loss and have it for more than 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be consistent or oh yeah, there we are. All right, that threw me off.
And just to let you know, Barbara's watching the show. Our beautiful Barbara Jean. Thank you for being here, Barbara. And she says, Carrie, you are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want everybody has their own journey to overcome. Coming back to Unity, Ottawa was the best decision I ever made. And I actually did go to Unity when I lived in Toronto for 5 years. But I was active in my addictions then. But my intuition told me to keep going. I believe that now. And so after 21 years, something wasn't working for me anymore. I was starting to feel agitated. And I'm going, there's nothing going on with me. What is this? And then this little voice said, check out Unity Ottawa. So I sent an email up to Unity Ottawa, which was WebT, and I've never looked back.
That's
It's a little bit of goosebumps. It's if I could tell people who's in recovery right now to make spiritual journey, make a part of your recovery be spiritual. Because, yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and now not only did you find Unity, you are very active in Unity, right? Yeah, Unity, Barbara says.
And yeah, between work and Unity, my life is full. And that's okay.
So what do you do for Unity? What do you do there?
So I started attending spirit groups like right after. And my first spirit group was about the 5 principles of unity. So how appropriate. But most of that honestly went over my head. I was just so happy to be amongst other people with spirituality and things. So I did that, probably for the first 3 to 5 months. And during that time, I was attending a class that RevT, Ottawa Unity, was putting on. And it's called Friday Night Connections. And I'm going to say after a month, they asked if I would like to be a host too. So now I'm a host along with RevT, Dr. Ann, and myself.
Awesome.
As of this week, I'm now on the board of Unity. I have done a talk for Unity Ottawa. I've done some facilitating for Unity Ottawa. And the big one right now is me taking courses to become a licensed Unity teacher. So
That's
I'm really
awesome.
excited about that.
Yeah. Are you
That's
saying
awesome.
that you've only been back at Unity Ottawa for a year and a half?
Joy?
Did you say you only went back to Unity a year and a half ago?
So the pictures keep changing, so I can't follow lip reading. So I'm trying to. Okay, say it one more time, please.
I'm saying you're doing all this, and I believe you said that you only returned to Unity 1.5 years ago.
Yes.
Wow. That is incredible. Yeah. And Barbara Jean says that is fabulous. So it really sounds like this is, you embraced it. You embraced your spirituality. You embraced everything that you could learn and be a part of. And now you're actually wanting to be a licensed Unity teacher, which is what LUT is.
Yes.
So that is really fantastic. Like Barbara said, so inspirational. Yeah. So I don't even know what to ask anymore. It's like, the journey up to that. At the age of 5, you believed that there was no God because God wasn't looking after you. And how long did you believe that for? And when did a shift start happening?
I think the shift probably started when I was in Toronto going to Unity Church for the first time. And it really shifted once I realized that God didn't leave me, that God was always with me, that God was everywhere.
Yes, in me and around me, right?
Yeah. So I think that was the big shift.
Okay. So that's about 23 years ago?
About a year and so I'm going to say about a year ago that shift.
Oh,
I think what Cheryl is asking is when you first went to Unity of Toronto, you you oh my goodness, can't talk. You first entered the Unity world when you were in Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah. And is it easier for you if we just stay on one screen instead of shifting around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's much better. If you could stay like that, that would be awesome.
Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay. That's even better. Okay.
That's great. Great. Thank you, Deja. Yeah. So
the
let's stay
middle.
in one position here for Carrie and you're just making me think of you know accommodations and requests and not just for someone who has a challenge of some kind, but for all of us in life, that when we want something, we need to ask for it, right? Yeah. You certainly are a role model in many ways, Carrie. And yes, so your involvement with Unity.
Yes.
Tell us how this enhances your life. Rather, other than, I don't want to say just, but outside the textbook and what you're studying, your involvement in what you're doing and reaching other people, how does that enhance your life?
yeah.
I believe
Like
it
life
allows
before Unity and life after Unity, right?
yeah.
No, not necessarily.
No?
Just being, Carrie is integrated in Unity, not just with the textbook reading and the messages and whatever. She's immersed, she's involved.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, how that has impacted your life.
I think by reaching out and helping other people, I'm humble. I don't know if that's the right word. But I don't want other people to go through what I did, what I went through. I don't want, because, and part of the reason right now is I'm working mostly with seniors right now at work because that's our focus. But seniors are some of the older seniors, and I'm a young senior, so I shouldn't say. So older seniors, they may still have the mindset where having a hearing loss, oh, I shouldn't talk about that. But those are the ones that isolate from family, and it causes family dynamics because you're not listening to me or you're mumbling, just all those. I want to take some of that away. I can't take it all away, I know that. But so part of my goal is also to teach family how to communicate with their loved ones. So I just feel good that I feel like I'm helping out somebody who may not have to go down the same path as me. I want other people to know there is no shame, whether you have hearing loss, whether you have abuse, or any other kind of trauma. None of that shame is ours. Not even hearing loss. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great message.
Yeah, I just feel fulfilled. I don't know. It just,
So do you find that
I can relate to that? Yeah, fulfilled. I'll just carrying on with what Carrie just said. I'm very involved as well in Unity in a number of different roles, and boy, that hits it right on the nail, the hammer on the nail. Feeling fulfilled. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I can
yeah,
speak to that too. Mhm.
wonderful.
Okay,
Me
now
three.
you, Cheryl.
Me three.
And you three?
So Barbara actually put a question in the chat. She said, "Are you happy with how people treat you now?
Joy?
Oh, good question.
Are you happy with how people treat you now?"
Absolutely. Yeah. And what and people sense who you are. Even people I don't know. I'd be walking down the street and somebody would say hi and I say hi back. And I'm like, they said hi to me. Oh, maybe I should do that more often too. So I would say hi to the next person. Um, yeah. What I tell people who I meet for the first time, I say I don't have hearing loss because they don't know. Most people don't know what to do with that information. They start yelling
Mm,
and that. Exaggerating lip reading did not work.
mm,
So I tell people I read lips.
mm.
And then they go, oh, and then they immediately understand, oh, I have to look at her.
Mhm, mhm,
And most people are accommodating.
mhm,
There's only one time I used my hearing loss as an excuse. And this
mhm,
was way back when I lived in Toronto. It was Christmas time, and I was going into a mall. And I saw this empty spot. And there was a car ahead of me with a signal on, so I thought he was turning up there. So I turned in, not realizing he was going to back out.
mm,
But how was I going to know that?
mm.
But so he came out of there, and I was very shy back then. I wasn't like now. But he would, and I said, sorry, I'm deaf. And then he didn't know what to do. But he would, and I noticed he had kids in the back seat, and I'm thinking he's acting like that in front of his kids.
Mhm.
Mm.
So, but you know what? He did scare me. I did go do a bit of shopping, and I thought, what if he finds me in the mall? So I left. I wouldn't do that now. If I was that sorry. I didn't know that you were
Yeah,
going backing up. But yeah.
yeah,
But that
yeah.
was the only time I have hearing loss code.
Well,
Mm.
that's quite incredible.
No.
And Barbara's brother is starting to experience some hearing loss. And when she suggested a hearing aid, he flat out refused. He's now 64. And it's the same with my husband. My husband is actually deaf in one ear. He's got a growth, and he has it monitored, but it totally blocks his one ear. And he also, like, absolutely not, don't talk to me about hearing aids. It means I'm an old man, right? Which
And
Well,
I,
he
those,
is.
that's exactly what I said. You are.
I know. Those are the people I'm trying to reach, but it's hard.
Yes.
It's it's almost they need to meet somebody else who wears the hearing aid so that they can say to him, you know what? Can you hear your grandkid? Can you hear your wife or whatever? And if they say no, he goes, well, with your hearing aid, you can.
Mhm.
The only issue
Mhm.
is, especially the older you are, the harder it is to get used to background noises.
Mm. Yeah.
So, like the ticking clock, a fan going, I can now tolerate all that. But when I first got my first implant, I hated the sound of a ticking clock. It drove me up the wall.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I had to learn to be okay with it,
Mhm.
you know. But
Mhm.
if you do get a hearing aid and it's bothering you, wear it for half an hour at a time
Mm.
and just keep
Mm.
increasing it because all of a sudden you're not hearing, you're
Yeah.
being bombarded with sound. So
Yeah. That's what I wondered for you when you first started hearing. Like, I could
Mm.
imagine turning it off because I don't want to hear that noise.
no. Oh, good idea. And
Mhm.
you can also go to the Canadian Hard of Hearing Association webpage, and there'll be tons of information on there too.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So
Wow.
when I got my first implant and got it activated, I would walk into my car and I could hear it. I don't know how far behind, but a lady was walking in high heel shoes. And I was hearing it. And I'm like, she must have thought I was crazy because I kept turning around to see her. And then the second thing was the clicker in the car. Tick tock. I went, oh, I haven't heard that in many years. But so, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
wonderful.
awesome.
Well,
Do you know that we're coming to the end of the show? We have like 5 minutes left. And at this point, Carrie, we ask our guest and the hosts, what would you like to leave us with? If there was one thing that you wanted to make sure that we heard, from your message, what would it be?
Be yourself, be authentic, trusting in your own inner belief, whether it's God or oneness or whoever you have, or it's not a person, but you know what I mean. Yeah, have goals, dream. I do believe I'm getting evidence that what's that phrase? The thought that you think you create.
yeah, yeah. Thoughts held in mind, create after their kind.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and just enjoy being with people. And I need my quiet time too. So it's about balance, you know. It doesn't always work. I've been learning how to balance everything by taking 2 LUT classes and work and Unity. So it's but it's working. I've decided to let go of something. So if something is worrying you, sit down and think about how much of it can you worry about. So how much do you have to change it, or can you change it?
And Barbara's saying thank you all for a great show. Carrie, you are a gift in capital letters, which I totally agree. So I would say for me, what I'm taking away is just how resilient a human being can be, and the courage that you have taken to be who you are today, to be, this authentic, joy-filled, wonderful human being. So you show great courage, great strength, resilience. So, to tell people who are going through a hard time, whatever it is, that we do have it in us to get through it, and that this too shall pass.
Yes.
I think Carrie said, trust in your inner faith.
Mm-hmm.
That really resonated with me.
Faith, yeah, faith. That's one of my yes. I'm a big believer in faith.
Yeah. And you have to experience things, I think, to have faith, right?
Yeah.
So go out and find those places where you can experience like unity wherever you are, or I know that there is Center for Joyful Living in Toronto now, and there's lots of centers for spiritual living around. These are all new thought movements, which I think certainly are something that people need in today's day and age. And maybe I shouldn't say need, but that could really be a wonderful connection with community, because it's positive, right? It's all about being spiritual, positive, and learning together and having a journey together.
And seeing what's in front of you. Seeing
Yes.
the tree we were talking about that the other day. I know we're going to wrap up. We were walking down the street and there was these trees and they had berries on them. And we've walked by those trees a gazillion times and they were there yesterday. So they've always been there. And we saw them yesterday.
So open your eyes and open your ears.
Yeah.
Be aware, be conscious and aware, and enjoy life. Yeah. Right?
Carrie, thank you for saying yes. I know I said that earlier, but thank you so much for showing up and saying yes. You've been a delight as a guest.
Well, thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carrie. So please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.